International Affairs has been shaped by her involvement with the Black Women Alliance, Black Student Alliance, and CU's Women's Ultimate Frisbee team. In addition, Katiana studies Spanish language and culture and is a fellow for the Center for Western Civilization, Thought, and Policy. This summer, she will be attending the National Conference on Race and Ethnicity in New Orleans, representing the University of Colorado and its diversity on campus, and working for the collective PACS, which strives to fix the challenges of African American underrepresentation in elected seats of power throughout our nation. I want to invite Katiana up to the stage, and please welcome Katiana.
Beloved family members, mentors, esteemed professors, friends, special friends, young graduates. My name is Katiana Hutchinson, and today I would like to speak with you about how our generation must come to understand our role as global citizens in this day and age. Not as liberals, not as conservatives, but simply as inclusive leaders. It begins with you. After that, to infinity and beyond. I was born in the streets of Port-au-Prince, Haiti in 1995, and I came of age in a white household in a predominantly white suburb of Kansas City. With all the exceptional opportunities my family could give to me, they could never provide me with the knowledge necessary to yield a strong sense of self. Although my time has been enlightening inside the classroom, my time off campus has allowed me to acquaint myself with my personal identity. Today, I stand in front of a predominantly white audience to share my experience about the time I've spent in this space. Quite often I felt alone on this campus, and for the first 2 very difficult years of college, I was hidden deeply in the closet of #Black Excellence. It was midsummer 2016. I had not a dollar to my name. All I had was my honor, my tolerance for pain, a couple of college credits, and my top-notch brain. I was interning with the Colorado Democratic Party. Donald Trump was about to become the Republican nominee, so obviously nothing was going my way. I called up my father, Papa Hutch, on the phone in tears, whining about my frustrations with my first years of college. His response, "If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem." What kind of advice is that? I'm clearly not part of the problem. Throughout my time growing up in Kansas City, these words of nonsense were the blessed words of wisdom he would say to me, usually following my temper tantrums, probably about a boy. I didn't care so much for the vague wisdom, but I couldn't help it to internalize it. That next morning, I woke up. It suddenly seemed so obvious. I was going to drop out of CU to pursue a job as a field organizer. Within the next few days, I applied to work on the national campaign, and I was deciding between which states to interview with. Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, you name it, the Democrats lost it. I also had to make the inevitable, the horrible, terrible, no good, very bad phone call to my parents. Here's how it went. "You're taking the semester off to do what? Like hell you are. Dad, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot." "No, you absolutely will not be dropping out of school for such an impulsive decision." "Oh yeah? There's a million things I haven't done, Mom, so just you wait." Simply put, I felt that I, Katiana Hutchinson, with 7 syllables, was the millennial version of my brother from Broadway, founding father, and fellow orphan born in the Caribbean, Alexander Hamilton. Cleveland was the greatest city in the world, and I was about to rise up. Shout out to Lin-Manuel Miranda, thank you for your impeccable title. Given how I never lived in an African American community in my life, it was not until I arrived in Cleveland when I was exposed to Black culture. The campaign assigned me to a financially burdened and politically disengaged district on which all the pressures of the state weigh. In Maple Heights, blocks of families were and still are affected by the housing crash of 2008. I had yet to be groomed in such an environment and felt ill-prepared to lead the fight. One day, the campaign brought in 2 surrogates to my team's neighborhood, Congressman Joe Kennedy and the Mothers of the Movement. They sent the American royalty to my neighborhood, riddled with Section 8 housing, and sent 2 grieving Black mothers who lost their sons to police violence to a neighborhood with residents that perfectly mirrored the suburb I grew up in. This was not the decision made by the leaders in the community. Throughout the days on the campaign, up until my departure, I slowly came to recognize that the organizing model was practical only for affluent white voters. Too bad I wasn't here. I was obliged to resist the resistance from my liberal counterparts. I chose to forego the constructed social barriers that I felt further divided us. Barriers that nurtured a version of resistance I called privileged resistance. I was aching for the Black leaders in my team's communities to be empowered by the campaign, to lead the fight, and to carry on their own agenda. I was slowly but surely coming out of the closet as a Black woman. Finally, the search for a sense of belonging was over. I knew my culture. I began to truly comprehend that I did not have to subscribe to this brand of resistance, no more than I had to subscribe to any portrait of Blackness. I had a whole other toolbox at my disposal. As a matter of fact, I was reminded that by my many adult mentors that the history of resistance began with us. My resistance has long since endured to empower your resistance. I couldn't carpe diem in this community and construct a platform for me and others to have a voice. Escaping privileged resistance began with me, and it begins with you. We need local citizens to defend the 8 agendas of their communities if we should ever hope to fathom the intricacies of international affairs. The road that we will travel in pursuit of global justice and equality will take a lifetime to explore. On this journey, we will learn to refrain from homogenizing agendas of those who are disenfranchised. We will reinforce educated discourse and healthy debate. We will learn to stop feeling that we must minimize our own stories to make room for someone else's. Others have a right to listen to you and to learn from you and to be enlightened. We will come to learn that we coexist in spaces where we share mutual realities, all accompanied with our own personal biases. And most importantly, you must come to understand that your identity is not a crime, and neither is mine. I am a Haitian immigrant and a fearless American. I do not feel beholden to one nationality. I am the proud daughter of 2 white privileged and educated adults. I am adored by 2 races. I contributed my blood, sweat, and tears to the Democratic Party in 2016, only to return to CU in 2017 to seek academic counsel from the visiting conservative scholar. I'm no traitor. I'm a Black woman. I'm an independent, and in no way am I free from ignorance. I'm American pluralism at its finest in 4-inch white heels. Your neighbor, foreign and domestic, wealthy and poor, Black, brown, white, yes, even the wealthy white ones, all have a story to share. We all have a story that can add. We all have our own spice to mix to the great American melting pot, and it is a decadent soup indeed. The thing about soup, however elaborate its diverse spices, is that we cannot separate the vast spread of ingredients it contains if we wish to receive all its nutrients. We must welcome all the flavors. As we enter into this global community, the pot thickens. We are some of America's newest, freshest, finest members of its graduating class, and we are blessed to be in positions of power. With that, we must embrace this role as global leaders. We need to create spaces for numerous progressive agendas to coexist collectively. We will be challenged to strive from a collective unity amongst our differences, and when we unite amongst all our differences, the punch is always more powerful. Congratulations, class of 2018. Today marks the day we are baptized in the waters of unity. But don't be nervous, the water's fine.